Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome back to the East Manchester experiment. It is just about still alive. Today is the last game of the season for East Manchester. It's not, however, the last game of the season, because in their infinite wisdom, the North West Counties League Premier Division have scheduled the game so that we finish one match day before everyone else. There are 19 teams in the division, so it's understandable why it needs to happen to somebody. Why it needs to be somebody who's clearly going to be in with a shot at the title is beyond me. I mean, why not just move one of the other games so that Congleton Town and Northwich Victoria play each other when there's clearly nothing on it? But we are in a position today where a win will put us top of the league, potentially, depending on the other result, on the last day of our season, and we won't necessarily have won the league. In fact, it's unlikely we will win the league. It's still possible, but we need, essentially, Skelmersdale need to not win a game. If Skelmersdale don't win another game this season, then we will be champions if we win. If they win a game at any point in those two games, then we will not win the title. Two draws would do it. If they get two draws, that would do it. Draw and a defeat would do it. Two defeats would do it. But any win, and we will not be able to get promoted this year, which clearly is not ideal. Today they are playing 1874 Northwich. It's a fairly easy game for them. Obviously, I can't go and watch it, but here we go. We have Whitchurch Alport away. For some reason, I've been reading that all season as Whitchurch Airport. I'm not quite sure why, but sorry if you noticed that earlier in the videos. I apologise for that. Here we have our team. As you can see, we've got Jermaine Smith carrying a bit of a knock, so I can't really risk him, I don't think. I'm tempted to, but I think today's going to be a last chance for James Barragan, almost certainly going to be leaving the club. So, one last go at trying to make things happen for us. And other than that, our team is going to stay pretty much the same, I think. We've got Waterhouse and Gee still firing on all cylinders, in fact looking pretty good in terms of fitness at the moment. Noble and Matete are in the centre midfield because Hayhurst and Lukashuk were both suspended, which is obviously not ideal. Other than that, though, I think this is pretty much our first team, and it's a team that's done pretty well this season. We've messed up a little bit towards the end. The defeat against Alsager Town was clearly a really important one. But that defeat against Earlham probably more so, because Alsager was always going to be a difficult game. The Earlham game was a game we should have won. Losing 6-1 to our title rivals, obviously not ideal. It's part of the reason why our goal difference is so inferior to theirs. But yeah, it's meant that we have a lot to do. We're probably not going to go up this season. It's going to be another season of frustration. But you never know. You never know. And either way, I will be back for another season. There is still no sign of the database for the lower leagues. I imagine it will be out quite soon, so it might be that next season is my last one, but we will see. Get my players nice and fired up for one last shot. Be nice to at least win this game, do the best we can at this point. We have the ball on the edge of box, Matete into Wild, Morrison picks the ball up again, Akinola on the wing, swings the ball into Barragan and it goes wide. First chance of the game, not bad. Just keeping an eye on the Skelmersdale score, it's still 0-0 there. If Northwich could do us a favour, it'd be very, very nice. Akinola swings the ball in. Nothing happens there. And they're on the attack now. We've got Arthur over to Payne. Can we turn it over? No, it looks like this might be a chance for them coming up. To Murphy, wide to Hester, who gets the crossing to Arthur. Good save from Fisher there. We're under a bit of pressure though. Need to be a bit careful. I'm going to just dial a little bit back on the attacking. Akinola shoots and it goes wide. Akinola with the corner. Wild picks up the loose ball over to Waterhouse, back to Wild, and Wild is dispossessed too easily, I think. Shape has been recovered quite well. Pollard gets the ball just to Arthur though, and Arthur makes it 1-0. Isahaku Arthur, his third goal of the season. It's a bit of a stunner. Hester gets the ball in, Arthur shoots. It's a very good goal. Not a huge amount the keeper could have done about that, to be perfectly honest. Come on, at least win this game. I mean, to be fair, we've had a lot of shots. We've had a lot of possession as well. So I can't really blame the players at the moment. Skelmersdale's still drawing at the moment, so if we can turn this around, we will still be in with a chance. It will only be a small chance, but it will be a chance nonetheless. It actually makes very little difference today whether they draw or lose. If they don't win, then they need to win the next game anyway, so it makes no difference. Assuming, of course, that we do turn this around, which, without that, this is pointless. It's not going to happen anyway, so we need to turn the game around. We need to win this game. I mean, the draw would only be enough if they lose both games, which is just not going to happen. I'm not relying on that. We need to win this game to have any chance. And even then, it's a long shot. Akinola out to Pollard on the wing. Into Barragan. He gets the ball over to Waterhouse, shoots, and it's 1-1. Harry Waterhouse, 25 goals this season. Really good goal there. All three of our strikers involved. Barragan found Guy, found Waterhouse, and into the back of the net. That's one. We need another. Still 0-0 at Northwich. I'd like them to get a goal. It would just ease my nerves. Once the draw is fine, makes no difference whether they lose or draw. Just be nice for them to get a goal now, because then I can go into the last few minutes knowing that it's not all over. Assuming we do win. If we don't win, it is all over. Waterhouse finds Barragan. Get square, and he's shot and he scored. We're winning this game. That's fantastic. So this is still alive as long as Skelmersdale don't win this game. If they don't win, then we're going to be in for a nervy watch on that last day. I'm not going to actually watch the game. I'll cut to seeing the score. I can't bear to watch it, because if Skelmersdale were to go one down and then win the game, I would be devastated. I think that's too much. I just want to see the result straight away. Looks like it's starting to feel like a chance, just a chance, that we could win this, because it's taking a long time for Skelmersdale to score. Now, of course, they could get a last-minute winner at any point. I'm going to make a substitution just to run down the clock a little bit, make sure that we're going to win this game. To be honest, though, since we scored our first one, it hasn't really felt like they're going to get back into this. So I'm going to give Nick Austin a go up front, which is quite rare for him. I've only ever used him, I think, on the wings before. And I'm going to give Tim Akinola a rest for Jazz Casey. Come on, stay there. No, if this figure here doesn't move, we're okay for one more day at least. Into stoppage time. This will be the end of the match, and the only thing that will matter then is whether Skelmersdale have managed to get a very late goal. It's full time, ref. It's full time. Full time. It's full time. Yes, it's full time. There you go. And it doesn't look like... No, they haven't. So the season is not quite over for us yet. I still think it's unlikely, because I think Skelmersdale will win that last game, but if they don't, then we are the champions. We can only hope. I will see you in a moment for that last game. So the next screen you will see will be the fixtures on that last day, which will include everyone except East Manchester. And it might be that it will be our last... That there will be our last game in the North West Counties Premier. Fingers crossed. Okay, so here we are on the last day of the season, potentially our last day in this league. And this is the game. I'm not going to go to it, I've told you why, but this is the game you've got to watch. Skelmersdale against Bootle, nothing else matters. Hausager out of the picture. Vauxhall Motors out of the picture. It's all about Skelmersdale. If they win, they're champions. If they don't, then we are. Either way, we will have a season review as soon as this is done. I will skip to the Team of the Year moment, and we will talk about the season as a whole. Hopefully, knowing that we are going to get promoted. Let's go. I've obviously cut this short because it took well a while to load. I think there must have been a lot of games on this day, so I am cutting it short. Here we go. And Skelmersdale have won the league. Oh well, it was close. We got within a point. Look, it's a good season. It's certainly an improvement. If you look at what we did last year, we were all the way down in 9th, 22 points off the eventual champions. This season, just 1. So it's a massive improvement. Obviously, not quite up with. We've got more points actually than we did when Squires Gate got promoted a couple of years ago. So that's one thing. We've got 7 points more, in fact. 7 points more than our previous best. So look, I can't be anything other than happy with that. It's a perfectly good season. It's disappointing to get this close, but it's a good season, and I don't think we can be particularly upset about it. I'll be back shortly with a season review. I'm not as disappointed as I thought I would be, to be honest, because I kind of knew that we weren't going to win that league. I couldn't see them not winning that last game. I just couldn't see it. They've only lost 3 all season. Yes, they've drawn quite a lot, but I just didn't think they were going to lose that game, and obviously they needed to, or well, lose or draw. and they didn't. So we will go again. I am seeing rumours since we last spoke that the level 11 database for FM20 is close. So the next season might be my last. I will finish a season, that's for sure. I will get to the end of a season at some point, so the next season will be finished. If it's our last one, it's our last one. I'd like to get promoted in my last season, just to finish on a high. I think, I know I'm not going to get up to the Premier League or anything with this save. I never intended to, but it would be nice to get a last promotion before we leave the north, because we are going back down to London for my FM20 save, as I've mentioned. So I'll be back in a moment with the end of season review. So here we are with our overall best 11 news item. As you can see, there's been 5 players this season, which at this stage of the game is quite impressive. It means we've had a good season. Javan Smith goes straight into the first 11, in fact, with Harry Waterhouse up front. Ugochukwu is also there. Jay Matete looks like he's on the bench. Ben Winterbottom ditto. Collins as well. And that's it for the new ones. So this is the best 11 now. And you can see he's starting to get players who've got 100 games, which is a first. Quite sure why. Yeah, actually, no, I was going to say I'm not sure why Max Gee is there and not Javan Smith, but actually, if you look at their goal ratios, Javan Smith has done better, so that's fair enough. Tim Akinola really racking them up now, but Bahelu still ahead of him for the time being. I'm not sure how long it'll last. I think Akinola will still be around. No, I'm pretty sure Akinola will still be around next season, so he has a chance to add to that and hopefully improve on it. There are quite a lot of players in this team who are going to be around next year. Billy Fisher, I think, will be, although I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I may well be looking for an improvement. Certainly backup for him at least. Maybe an improvement. Sorry if I've been a bit loud, or if there's been a bit of interference. I apologise. I had the microphone too close to my mouth there. Wayne Cleaver playing at right back, even though he only ever played at centre defence, I think. At some point, I'm sure we'll move to the formation we're using now, unless we change it back. Steve O'Loughlin, I can't even remember him. Unremarkable. Strange decision, but I suppose we never really had many good left backs, so it's not entirely surprising. Hadfield, fair enough. Morrison, I'm surprised by. I have to say, of all the defenders we've got at the moment, he's not the one I would choose. Jack Walton was a really good player. I liked him. Dominic Collins has done well recently. Jazz Casey takes his spot on the right hand side, which is very, very good to see. Waterhouse quickly becoming a bit of a legend, I think. I know Max Gee's got more goals, but Waterhouse has played far fewer games than him. So I think Waterhouse, for me, is the player of this save so far, although Hayhurst as well has done really, really well, and I'm really, really happy with him. And Akinola, he's just done brilliantly since Bahali left. So when he left, I did think, we need to replace him properly, and he's done a really good job, Akinola. Harry Waterhouse, by some distance, the player of the season. I think that must be his second time, which is great. Is there a list of them here? I think there is. Fans Player of the Year, here we go. Yep, it is his second time. He won it in the first season as well, so good to see him come back and win it again. Those are our players. Finley Hayhurst has won it. Berkhamshaw last year. That was a strange decision, the Berkhamshaw one. He was okay, but I didn't think he was that good. Brad Wild, I would agree with that. He's been a really good signing. Really pleased with him. Oldham boy. And he's only 19, so he could get better. Despite the fact that his determination is low, he does seem to be improving a bit. So hopefully that will continue. And Finley Hayhurst, as a young player of the season at 23, is a slightly strange one. As we just fell just short of their pre-season target, fair. I wouldn't say it was a disappointing campaign. It was a shame, but we played well. It was certainly an improvement on the previous year. Match of the season, away win against Widnes. Interesting choice. Just 6 days before that, that's inarguable. That's 6-1 defeat to Skelmersdale, which ultimately cost us the title. Only 23 players used. That's not too bad. 71 average attendance. I still think that's hilarious. Only 2% full, which is interesting. It's going to be a while before we get a new stadium, I would wager. So it looks like dressing room atmosphere and managerial support is looking good. A couple of influential players around, which is good to see. And I think most of these are staying, from what I can see there. The only one I'm not sure about is Lewis Morrison. Yeah, no, he's staying as well. Not my favourite player, but if he's influential, I suppose that is probably for the best. So we have enough about us to challenge for a place. So we're good enough to go up as champions. That's certainly true. We definitely are, and they agree with me, which is good to say. Really pleased with them, and good morale can only stand us in good stead. I think it was a real problem last year. So to end the season with really, really happy players this season is really nice to see. We have a 6-week pre-season because I want to get them really up and ready. See if we can get our youth category improved. No, actually no, that's not the right thing to ask now. I am going to ask my board for something though. What do I want from them? What I really want is more money in. So I think the best way to do that would be to get a senior affiliate to garner some extra income. It would be useful. Okay, I'm not going to push it because I don't want to get in trouble. Is there anything else they might consider? I mean, because we're in so much debt, it's hard to see how that would really help. I might even see if I can cut back the youth recruitment, see if I can get more money spent elsewhere. Yes, so that's good. So we're not going to get much through our youth team, but we're not anyway. So, and we're getting our players from elsewhere for the moment. At some point, we will obviously increase that. So, fingers crossed, that won't be forever, but it has been downgraded. So it will drop over the next couple of years. Hopefully that might save us a bit of money. I'm never quite sure how much that saves, but we obviously need to do that. I should quickly show you my finances. As you can see, it's not looking good. We will have a friendly competition in the pre-season, which will increase this a bit, but at the moment it's just on a negative long-term trend here. I have spent quite a lot of this season trying to get players down to cheaper contracts, and I have succeeded mostly. You can see that the players who are on the highest contracts are actually going to be players who are leaving, so I won't be paying these contracts anymore. And actually Lewis Morrison is my highest. I might even see if I can sell Lewis Morrison without him. I didn't know that. Because Lewis Morrison is my highest paid player, I might see if I can move him on. Because I'm not sure he's worth being the most... Actually, is he? He's better than I sometimes think of him. Dominic Collins, he's also a pretty good player, you know. Maybe I should be thinking about keeping those two despite the high wages. But certainly all these players who are going to be leaving on high wages, it's going to save us a fair bit of cash. You can see here, you know, this is what best part of 15 grand saved straight away when those two leave over the next year. I'm obviously going to have to bring in a few more players. In terms of who, my thinking is I probably only need 3 top players, and if I can work with a smaller squad next year, that will obviously save me money. I reckon I'm going to need a new goalkeeper, either to back up Fisher because Winterbottom's not really good enough, or better still to improve on Fisher because I don't think he's that good. He has been an improvement on Winterbottom. If you just compare the two. Oddly, Winterbottom looks better, but Fisher's just done a lot better than Winterbottom ever has, so that's why I've stuck with him. So if I can improve the goalkeeper, I will. The other position I'd like to improve is right wing and or left wing. One of the two I'd like to improve. Possibly someone who can play both sides, so that I can use Jazz Casey as kind of a backup, because he's much better on the right. But if my right winger can also play left wing, I can shift him over if Akinola gets injured and play Casey on the right. And obviously Casey can come in for him when necessary. So I think one player might cover those two positions, particularly if I can get a player who is versatile. But even if not, Jazz Casey can do a job on the left, even though he's not as good. But he's also, you know, he's not done badly. You know, he should still improve. He's 19. He's got decent determination, so he should still improve. But you know, if you look at his average rating, it's obviously not great. Jacob Ossé has obviously been playing on the right wing this season. He is on loan. There's still a chance I could get him in, and I think I probably would because he's had a good season. But who knows? We'll see. That's certainly a possibility as the winger spot, and that would just about fill up my my squad as far as wingers concerned. And the other place that I would like to improve is strikers, because I've had a really good season with my strikers this year. I've had 69 goals between the 3 of them. But the thing is, that's it. I've only got 3, and I'm playing 3, which means that every time that they don't play, I've got to bring in someone like Barragan, who just isn't really up to it anymore, or Bradley Baker, who my assistance rate, but I don't at all. I just don't think he's very good. I mean, admittedly better on the left wing perhaps, but I just don't think he's good enough at the level we're playing at now. Liam Noble has also played there a few times. He's not really suited to it. He's more of a shadow striker. And then the other player is Nick Austin, who I'm never quite sure what kind of player this guy is. I think he's more of a left winger. And of course, that if he is a left winger, if I decide to keep him as a left winger, which at the moment I haven't done, but actually I've just noticed his 15 determination, he still has a bit of room for improvement. That might solve a problem for me. If I can get him in for not too much more than I'm paying now, 2,500, just about accept that, I think, because he's certainly not a terrible player to be having on the wing. And it might save me a bit of money elsewhere, because I think probably the kind of players that I'm going to be looking to get in will cost me more. Yes, he's going to take that. So 2.5 grand. I think it's just about worth it with Nick Austin. He has some potential. There's nothing here that's terrible. Everything here is at least okay, and his 15 determination at age 20 means that he can still improve. I'm not convinced, but if it's a cheaper option, then great. If I can still bring in another winger, I might do. But at the moment, my priorities are definitely going to be goalkeeper and striker now. Another striker, preferably even better than these three, but obviously with 69 goals, I'm perfectly happy to go with these three and with a backup who is perhaps a bit more promising than some of the ones I've got at the moment. James Barragan clearly not going to be a top player for me again. Woodhouse, oh, I didn't know that. He'd broken his record. He actually already held the record, so he broke his record from the first season. 25 goals for East Manchester this season. He also got 8th player of the match, which is great. Really good season from Waterhouse there. He really has been a bit of a revelation, because he shouldn't be good. I've said this so many times. Why is he good? He's got pace, but that's it. I guess at this level, it is all about pace. So obviously, in terms of looking for my striker, that's one thing I will be bearing in mind this season, is that all I want really is a striker. If I can get anyone in who is a striker with a lot of pace, quite like these which work rate determinations as well, but with a lot of pace, that is what I'm going to be needing. Whether that's going to be someone to back up for the people that I've got already, or whether it's going to be somebody else, who knows, but that's what I'm going to be looking for. Joe Lord, he's not bad, but he's not brilliant either. He would be a cheap option and perfectly good enough to be a backup. Give him a trial, see what happens. Is there anyone else who might be interested? Again, if he's cheap, maybe. I think I'll probably find it hard to improve on what I've got already, but I might be able to get someone who's decent enough to back up to those three. Aaron Pigott, no, not good enough. I know he's quick, but that is all he's got, and I want someone who's got at least some other attributes. Right, okay, well we've got a couple of possibilities there who might come in, and I'll keep looking. But certainly the two I'm definitely looking for now are goalkeeper and striker. Other than that, I think my squad is fairly complete already. Aaron Wilson comes back to me straight away. I'm not sure if I've got enough to get him in. Right, see if I can give him a bit more in the appearance fee, lots of goal bonus, huge team of the year bonus, because if he gets into that, then he's done very well. I think if he gets into that, there's a good chance we go up. So same thing if he's top goal scorer. And given that we've got 3 other strikers for him to compete with, and he might not even be a first choice, I'm perfectly happy to use that. What I don't want to give him too much of is the unused substitute, because I think he will be unused substitute quite a bit. I might take this down a little bit. No, he's not interested. He wanted about 5.5. That's too much for a player of his quality. I don't even think he's necessarily a first choice. So forget that. Lord doesn't want to come on a trial, and I don't want to buy him without it. I'm not at all convinced. It's not going to be easy to find a replacement, but I will try, and we'll see what we can do. So that is our season done. I hope you've enjoyed this season, possibly the penultimate season of this save, but there will be one more for sure, and I will come back next season. As you can see, lots of happiness here. A lot of these players who are devastated are leaving, so nothing really to worry about there. Josh Wicks on 4.5 grand a year. I'm so glad he's leaving. He hasn't worked out at all. He's had plenty of opportunities as well, and he's never taken those opportunities. So I'm very happy to see him go. Liam Noble, kind of the same thing. He's on a huge wage. Did okay this year when he came on, but yeah, he's not quite good enough. So you will see the squad at the start of next season. Next, I will come back for the first game of next season, whatever that is. I will talk you through my new squad on Tuesday. The hope killed me this episode. I really thought we had a chance, and it's sad that we will have another year in the North West Counties Premier League. I hope you'll join me for that. Any tips, any tricks, anything you're noticing that I'm doing wrong, please let me know, because I need it. See you tomorrow.